The blueprint of tomorrow. Layla Morgan had always believed that success could be engineered. As a strategic planner for Vision Future, one of London's leading consulting firms, she spent her days forecasting outcomes, modeling growth scenarios, and turning uncertainty into data. Her personal motto was simple: with enough preparation, nothing can surprise you. That belief had carried her through university, through late nights at the office, and through every carefully mapped stage of her life. But as she turned 35, Layla began to feel something strange, a faint unease, as though she were living inside a spreadsheet instead of a story. The assignment. Her next project was the biggest yet. The city of Lisbon had hired Vision Future to develop a 50-year sustainability plan, a roadmap that would transform the capital into a model of ecological innovation. Layla arrived in Portugal with her tablet full of data, projections, and digital blueprints. The city was alive with light and sea breeze, full of color and noise. She checked into a quiet apartment overlooking the Tagus River and began working immediately. Her goal was to predict everything: population growth, energy demands, urban expansion, resource distribution, even public happiness. But from her window, she saw something that no algorithm could predict: an old man repairing fishing nets on the pier, children playing football in the narrow streets, and a street artist painting a mural that read, "Plans are only dreams written in ink." She smiled at the phrase, but it lingered in her mind. The unexpected partner. A week later, the city assigned her a local collaborator, Rafael Duarte, an urban historian with a tendency to question everything. He was Layla's opposite: spontaneous, disorganized, and always late. His desk was a mess of books, maps, and coffee cups. On their first day together, he looked at her immaculate charts and said, "You know, cities are alive. They don't like being told what to do." Layla frowned. "That's exactly why we plan, to give direction." Raphael laughed. "Direction, yes. But control? That's just another form of fear." At first, their collaboration was tense. Layla wanted precision, Raphael valued improvisation. But gradually, she began to see that his stories about Lisbon's past, of earthquakes, revolutions, and recoveries, carried lessons that no model could teach. "Cities," he said one evening as they walked through Alfama's winding alleys, "are like people. Their beauty comes from what they survive." The breaking point. After 3 months of work, the project was nearly complete. Layla's predictive model had achieved a 97% accuracy rate, something unheard of. But just days before the final presentation, a massive storm hit the Portuguese coast, flooding neighborhoods that her model had classified as low risk. Power failed, communications went down, and for 2 days, the city fell silent. Layla watched the news helplessly from her apartment. Her model hadn't foreseen this, it couldn't have. When the rain finally stopped, she walked through the streets in her boots, past families cleaning mud from their homes, volunteers distributing food, and artists painting over damaged walls. Raphael found her standing near the harbor. "No model can plan for the human heart," he said quietly. For the first time, Layla didn't have an answer. The presentation. The day of the meeting arrived. The mayor, engineers, economists, and journalists filled the auditorium. Everyone expected a flawless proposal: the digital future of Lisbon. Layla stood at the podium, the final version of the plan projected behind her. But when she looked at the glowing charts and graphs, she hesitated. She closed her tablet. "I came here to present a plan," she began, "but what I've learned is that planning is not about control, it's about conversation." The audience murmured. For months, I built models to predict what Lisbon might become. But what I didn't see was what it already is, a place that breathes, adapts, and rebuilds. No plan can replace human resilience. She paused, her voice steady but warm. We'll still need data. But we'll need imagination too. Because the future isn't a formula, it's a collaboration. The room fell silent. Then, one by one, people began to applaud. Aftermath. Layla's revised proposal became known as the Adaptive City Framework, a plan that included flexibility, cultural input, and periodic public revisions. It was less about prediction and more about participation. She stayed in Lisbon longer than expected. She and Raphael co-taught a course at the university titled The Art of Uncertain Planning. Students loved it. On her last day before returning to London, Raphael took her to the same pier where she had first seen the mural. The words had been repainted, slightly altered. Dreams are only plans written in hope. Layla smiled. I think I finally understand what that means. Raphael looked at her and said, Good. Now go plan something that surprises even you. Epilogue. Back in her London office months later, Layla opened her new planner. On the first page, she wrote, Expectations are maps. But life is the journey that redraws them. She closed the book, took a deep breath, and for the first time in years, left a page blank.